We are back here. I took a picture of my questions, or some of the comments, chat questions. I was gonna let everyone get back in here. I can still answer all my all the questions from before too, or if they come back up in the chat, I'll answer them then. You guys are coming back now. We're gonna try this. I'm having everybody shut off their Wi-Fi in the house so that we can try and stay on here this time. I'll see if Garrett gets back in here, and I'll answer his response or his question. Benjamin Franco. Oh, there you are. All right. You're very public with your faith in God. That's awesome. Appreciate your willingness to put it out there. Yeah. Thank you for support me in that. I mean, Scripture says to go out and make disciples, and that's, I mean, bottom line is we're all infected with a disease, and that disease is sin, and the result is death, and that's promised to us. So, I'm a sinner in need of a savior, and that's what I want to help people with. I want to be a light to those that are around me, be a light to those that I encounter or that don't even know me, and even those that do know me, to my wife, to my family, and whoever. So thanks for encouraging me in that. Are you still on West Coast? Yes, I'm in California right now, and I'm getting ready to start the West Coast series this weekend at Anaheim 1. Tell us a little about 3-in-1 MX. So that's actually my father-in-law who does that, and he it's kind of a hobby. It's his passion. It's what he loves to do. He works for the union here in California. He operates heavy equipment, and he has ridden since he was younger, and that's kind of how I met Joy, my wife, it was through Panic Rev that I met her, and then come to find out her dad rode, and they were involved in Panic Rev too, and so 3-in-1 MX is just a motocross ministry. It's 3-in-1 stands for Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and it was actually Jeff, my father-in-law. He actually started that, I'd say 20 years ago, maybe, or something like that. And it was a clothing company, and he used to be into surfing really big, and so that's kind of where it came from. And then he started up the motocross ministry and kept it the same name, and now it's 3-in-1 MX, and he just loves to go to the races and to love on people. That's what he loves to do, and that's his heart, and he fits right in right there. So that's what 3-in-1 MX is just an encouragement. It's a time to spend with other people, and to pray with people, to love people, and it's just a good thing for opportunities. I'm gonna finish answering the. Uh, Actually, that's it. Um, Benjamin, with some 250 riders moved to the 450, does that give the 250s more of an advantage? Um, I would say that as people move out of the class, more people move into the class, the 250 class, and the people that have been in the 250 class just keep getting better. They keep gaining experience. They keep gaining strength. They keep maturing and getting older. So um, I don't really know that it's an advantage, but I mean, a lot of the people that I race with now are people that I've grown up racing with since I was younger. So um, it's uh, it's kind of tough to say, but we all are fit and we all know what we need to do, and it's just all about putting the work in and going the extra mile come race time. I've heard of stories of Troy being a prankster. Any cool stories about Troy you could give us? Um, I don't really know of one story to give, but Troy, it's hard to explain because he's an artist. He's always uh, trying to invent the next best thing. He's always trying to um, like add his own touch to it. I mean, if he goes and buys something, it's not good enough. It's like, how can I put my own touch on this? And he's got the mindset of a kid almost. He's just like one thing to the other. Just loves life. He loves to hang out with people. He loves to have a good time, and um, he is one of a kind. That's for sure. And it's hard to really explain the kind of person he is because he is an artist. He's now a team owner, the owner of Troy Lee Designs, which is, I mean, just the company as itself is such a big business now that like higher ups had to come in and uh, just help TLD as a company out because if you knew Troy, it's a lot for him, and so it was like, okay, how do they take TLD to the next level? And Troy is just one of the masterminds behind it, but he's just, oh, what? How can we make this better? How can we make that better? And he's a one of a kind guy. Um, how many times have you been to Loretta Lynn's? I My first year was in 2003. I was on a 50, and my last year there was in 2013, and I raced there every year but one year, and that was because I got hurt at the regional. So I've been there. I actually we did go that year. I just didn't race. So I've been there 11 times actually, but only raced 9 times because I went there in 2016. But I was just there hanging out with the TLD team. Um, Hang on, I'm gonna turn the light on in here. Okay. How was the off-season training? It's been really good. We spent all of October in California, dialing in the new bike, getting everything ready to go, and then spent the next month and a half in Florida, just building up a big base. And then my wife and I came to California mid-December and spent Christmas here and New Year's. And we're here the Wednesday before Anaheim won, and we're ready to go racing. Uh, what is the one riding technique that you constantly have to work on? For me, is probably being patient. Um, I mean, like bike technique is something that you kind of burn it into your brain, and a lot of it's muscle memory, but emotions fluctuate the whole time while you're riding, and being patient and hitting things consistent is probably the hardest thing to do, and that's something that we're always working on regardless of whether we know it or not. Alexis has a Troy Lee Designs backpack. That's awesome. I just got me a new one too. I don't think it was for Christmas, but it was for like the upcoming season. Uh, TLD sent me one. How do you like the TLD gear? Um, I love it a lot. Their new stuff is getting a lot lighter, getting a lot more comfortable. I think it's been really good over the last few years, but um, they've really been trying to innovate and to be the best. I mean, it's kind of biased of me to say that I think TLD is the best, but I really love what they strive for and what they work towards, because they're a company that never settles, and they want to keep innovating, and uh, especially with like Adidas, they kind of did the collaboration, and that stuff is my favorite set of gear. I know it's not specifically TLD, but uh, that combo it's it's crazy if you get to wear something. It's really nice, but the production TLD gear is really similar to it this year. We just started wearing it in August. We debuted like the first set of it at Unadilla, and those pants and jerseys are really comfortable and really similar to the Adidas stuff. I run the SE4 helmet as Troy's Racers. Do you guys get to test the new products? That SE4 I have is the best helmet I've ever put on. I would agree with that. Um, as like, yeah, we do get to try the new products, and um, I've never really worn anything different. Uh, well, except when before I was on the team, I just kind of went with what I could get for cheap and get a good deal on. But um, we do get to test the new products, and we get to test them years in advance. Like they're working on uh, a new helmet right now, or even probably not long after the SC4 launch, they were already trying to make things better and trying to work on a new helmet. And um, yeah, I love the way the SE4 fits, and the way it feels. Like with the SE3, I didn't really think. I mean, I just didn't really think about anything before I wore the SE4, and then it's like, okay, here you got to wear this one now. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it doesn't matter to me, but then I wore the SE4, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to go back to the SE3 because this thing's nice. What's your favorite motocross track? Um, it's hard to pick one, but I like Unadilla a lot. I like Redbud. Um, I like Southwick. I like Muddy Creek a lot. Um, I would probably have to say that Redbud is like my favorite like layout. Um, have you ever got a concussion racing? Um, yes, my thankfully I haven't had one in a while, but my latest one was in 2016 when I crashed at Southwick. Um, I still don't remember a lot of that day. When do you plan to move up to a 450? Well, Lord willing, if everything goes really good this year, this could be my last year on a 250, and then 450 for 2020. You just got to set a TLD gear for your birthday, I think. Yeah, nice. Well, happy late birthday. What numbers did you run at Loretta's? Uh, I actually had a lot of different numbers. I actually tried to pick a different number every year that I went there, um, just because I like the change. I liked it to be different every year. Um, I went with 72, 36, um, 48, 27. I might have even been. I was 74, maybe 70. Um, like I said, I tried to change it up a lot. Um, ever been to Minios? Yes, I have been to Minios. That was probably my favorite race as an amateur. I just loved the weather. I loved just the supercross and the motocross. I loved how it was less stressful than Loretta's. The amateur nationals growing up were uh, kind of like our family vacations. I mean, we raced every chance we got, so we never went on any actual vacations. We never really could afford them. So um, I have been to Minios, and that's probably my favorite amateur national. I have to say, Shane, you are outstanding on this live chat. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. This is pretty cool. Um, it's like I'm talking to people, but I'm not. I'm not. Sort of. Um, who or what got you into MX, and how old were you? Uh, so I came from a motorsports family. My dad didn't get his first bike till he was in high school. Um, but then he started racing. He would borrow bikes and go racing. And my dad was like a local pro, but he was like kind of the best one around where we're from in North Carolina. Um, but he couldn't afford to really do anything with it. And my older brother Jeremy, uh, he used to race quite a bit, and both my sisters raced and my younger brother. So my mom also raced too. So we've all raced at some point, and like now my brother, well, he hasn't in probably 2 years, but my older brother got into drag racing after he got hurt really bad. He broke his back riding MX, so he uh, he took up drag racing, and my younger brother still races sometimes. So um, my dad was kind of who got me into it, but it was a family thing growing up, and I was 3 when I first started riding a 4-wheeler, and I was 4 when I started riding a motorcycle. Are you good in the sand and mud? I like to think I am. I mean, I have my ups and downs, I guess. Uh, I think sand, I'm pretty decent in, but well, I'd say mud, I'm pretty decent in too. But mud, there's a lot more factors that you can like work against you, and that's the hard part about mud is uh, you can be good at it and still not do very good. So that's really tough. But I do like riding in the sand and mud. I like how technical it is. Um, growing up, I live in the mountains in North Carolina, so growing up, it would rain a lot, and I would come home from school and just ride in the rain, just for fun, just because I love to ride, and I kind of see where that helped me out. But at the time, I was just a kid who loved riding my motorcycle. Did you race Southwick in 2017 or 2018? Yes, I did. I raced both of those actually. How do you like the three race format at select SX races? Do you like the East West shootouts? Which format do you like better? So I like the three race format a lot. I think it. Last year we only had one. I think so. On the West Coast we only had one, and that was at Anaheim too. And it was kind of a bummer because our first race was only 6 minutes, which went really fast. And for the next Triple Crown race they upped the first race in the 250s to 8 minutes, which is a big difference when you're on the track and you're battling and stuff. So I was a little bummed that ours was only 6 minutes because I could have used the extra 2 minutes. But I do like the three race format, and this year I'm really excited that it's three set time limits instead of three different. I kind of like the longer stuff, and I think that's really going to kind of play into my favor, or at least I hope so. So I feel really good about that. The East West shootouts, I think it's really cool. Well, I guess it kind of depends on who you ask, but um, I enjoy it. It's really intense, and it's something where you got to be on your toes. Just like last year, not 2018, but 2017. I crashed in the first corner at Vegas, and I felt like I rode pretty good, but I only came back to 14th, and that's just because everybody is fast in it. So it's really tough. Um, like I said, if you're on the bad end of it, but if you're on the good end of it, I mean, it's also like, oh, dude, yeah, I love this. So it's kind of a different. I guess it just depends on which position you're in. But I enjoy racing them just because I like to race with everybody together. I mean, I like outdoors because everybody races together, and Supercross. I mean, I don't really. I guess it's cool that we're split up, but I like it when we come together. Uh, and which format do I like better? Um, Honestly, last year I wish we would have had, or like East Coast had two Triple Crown formats. I kind of wish we would have, because I thought it was a lot of fun. It was our third round, so it almost like it was weird. Like all day, like it just the layout was different, the time schedule was different, and it was just a good change up. It didn't really feel like a normal Supercross. So um, for us, that kind of split up our first six races almost. But I thought it kept it really fun, and I thought it was nice to have some change. So like I said, I think it'd be cool if there was another one for us uh, with the added time. But this year we do have two, and East Coast only has one. So I'm pretty sure that's right. Uh, so I'm pretty excited uh, about that, and I like how it's not just. I mean, for us, it's only nine or 10 or West Coast rounds, but um, I think about the 450 guys, and I'm like, dude, it's pretty much the same thing every weekend, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, the tracks change, the stadiums change, the people and the fans and the dirt types, but uh, last year for the Triple Crown, it was just nice to change up the schedule because uh, you kind of get in a rhythm and you're like, okay, I got to do this, got to do this, but then it's like when you have a new schedule, like, oh, okay, I like this. Like you kind of got to stay on your toes. Um, How'd you do at Minios? I have won 2 titles at Minios, both my last year. Actually, that was at the end of 2012. My last time racing there, I won 2 450 titles, and that's it. I've gotten a lot of seconds. I've won some motos there, but 2 championships is all I got there. How was the transition for you from North Carolina to California? At first, it was really hard. I really resented it. I didn't want to do it. I kind of fought with my team manager about it, and at the time, I couldn't really afford it. But he was like, "You got to be out here." They had a house that I stayed in, so it helped out with rent and stuff. And but it was way out of my comfort zone, and I really fought it for a while. But once I accepted it and I learned, and now it's really good. I love being out here. I mean, this is where I met my wife. This is where her family lives, and a lot of my friends. I moved out here when I was 18 was when I started coming out here, and now I'm 24. So um, a good portion of my life, or especially my adult life, has been built up here in California. So now it's really nice, but at first it was pretty tough. What's your favorite Supercross obstacle? Let me see. Yeah, how's that, guys? Can you see me a little better? Um, my favorite obstacle is the whoops. I think they're really tough, and it's really hard to be good at the whoops. But I think that's why I like them so much, is the technical aspect of it. You never hit 2 sets of whoops that are the same, and um, from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, the whoops change drastically. So um, I like the whoops because they're tough, they're challenging, and they help me be a better rider. There were only 2 nationals that I've. Oh, those were the only 2 nationals that I've been to. Southwick in 17 and 18. Nice. Or are you going to go back in 2019? As a fan of racing, we actually get to see heroes like you more than at a new normal Supercross. Oh, for the live chat. Cool. Um, you had a mechanical while leading a Supercross race in 17. How does that affect you mentally? Um, it's, I mean, as a racer, we know that things like that can happen, um, and nobody is exempt from it. Uh, I mean, what happened that time was just a freak accident, and I put a lot of trust in my mechanic and the team, and just everybody that has anything to do with my bike. And it's rare that something goes wrong. So mentally, I mean, if it was an ongoing problem, then mentally it would be like, dude, I'm not riding my bike until we figure this out. But that's not the case. And so I mean, I put trust in my mechanic to know that, okay, he's went over everything, and there shouldn't be anything wrong. But every now and then something. I mean, if I crash and damage the bike, that might damage a part that's deep in the bike that we don't know about, and so it might act up or something. But um, honestly, that's really not something that we can think about whenever we ride or we race, because that's taken away from our focus, and it's dangerous when we let that get in front of us. So for the most for the most part, we try not to think about that, and um, when it does happen, we take it and fix it and move on. Are you going to race the Southwick Nationals this year if they have it? Yes, I am. Uh, that's one of my favorite ones. Um, what is one piece of advice you would give to a young rider? I would say have as much fun as you can. Um, I would say just always always take instruction. Always listen to what people have to say, um, but don't necessarily take everything personal. I as a professional, I mean, this is my job, which used to be only a hobby, and now it's my job, and it comes with some attributes of a job, and that's not that fun sometimes, but uh, that's also part of it. And I still love to ride my motorcycle, so um, you have to learn to cope with everything that comes along with this profession. And if that's something that you want to do, then I would say to stay open minded and to be open to what anybody has to say. When you crashed into Aldridge, was he angry at you or was he okay? He actually called me. I think like the next day, and he actually apologized to me. But dude, when it happened, like I felt so bad because when I hit him and just the way I hit him, it really scared me because I hit him like kind of right in his back, and then they had to haul him off on a stretcher, and he was hurting really bad. And at that time, we didn't know what had happened, and so like I felt horrible. I was really scared for just his well being, and he was like, "No, dude, don't worry about it." Like he was on the stretcher, and I came up to him like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." Dude, and he's like, "Dude, don't worry about it. It wasn't your fault." And but we've even talked about that a few times since, and he wasn't mad at all. What was your gnarliest crash? Um, that's a good question. I My one at Southwick in 16. That's been the worst one injury wise. Actually, um, uh, so at the end of 2015, riding Supercross, I actually had a bike mechanical and it shut off going up a jump, and that's how I stayed on it. I didn't bail, which I probably should have. And so if like this is the face of the landing, I landed about like this and folded over the bars. Like my stomach actually bent my crossbar on my handlebars from landing on it. It put a big like dip in the crossbar, and my wrist just folded all the way back. That's all the movement I have in my wrist now. Um, but that I dislocated my wrist and broke a few of the little bones in the joint, and had to have surgery and lacerated my liver in a few places. So between that and my Southwick crash, where I broke a bunch of ribs, got a concussion, collapsed my lung, um, and separated my shoulder. I mean, those two have both been pretty bad. I've seen on IG that you run All Sport Dynamics wrist braces. How do you like them? Mine are sweet. Um, so that the crash where I had the mechanical, that was actually why I started wearing the All Sport Dynamics. Um, Jeff Brewer, the owner of the company, as soon as I crashed, I think I was still in the hospital. I had to be in ICU for a little bit because of my liver. And he actually reached out to me on Instagram, um, and he was like, "Hey, so I make wrist braces. Um, I'd love to get you in some." And uh, I got one before I even started riding. He helped me out with one, and um, I I can't ride without it. Like I said, that's all the movement I have in my wrist. So I have to wear it on my throttle hand. I choose not to on my left hand, mainly because I just feel like I don't have to. I know he's big on preventative stuff too, but a lot of times I wear my watch on my left wrist for my heart rate monitor. So that's uh that's kind of the main reason why I don't wear one on my left side. But my right wrist, I can't ride without that one. But I love it because it's so lightweight and it doesn't restrict me except stop my wrist from bending farther than it has to. And that's what I like about it is it doesn't feel like I'm really wearing anything. Favorite Supercross memory. Uh, well, I would say winning my first Supercross, but I don't really remember that one too much. Uh, like it was just so crazy that I don't really like remember. I didn't really take everything in. It was just like, oh my gosh, like is this real? Um, but other than that, I'd probably have to say Salt Lake City this year when I won there. That's probably been my favorite one, just because of the way that I raced, and I had some friends there that don't really get to come to the races a lot, and we just had a good time getting together. Do you train other riders? Um, no, I don't. I don't really have a lot of time, and I actually have a trainer myself. So I mean, maybe one day when I'm done racing, I might go that route, but I'm not sure. Um, what's up, Shane? Your biggest fan, Jet Leatherwood. Hey, what's going on? I know you guys. Uh, just talked to your dad. We couldn't figure out how to chat until now. Oh, there you go. Um, yay! This year I'm going to get VIP passes just so I can meet all the awesome riders. Heck yeah, we look forward to it. Jeff and Alex will play you in Colin Cornhole next time you're home. I'll be waiting on it. I need to practice actually. It's been a while since I've played. That crash at Southwick in 16 was gnarly. You were going for it. Yeah, I give Alex Martin a hard time about that all the time. I'm like, I blame it on him. Uh, is why I crashed, but no, it wasn't really his fault. I I wasn't very happy that right before that, a lapper had fallen in front of me, and I actually had to stop, and that's why Alex called up to me. So um, I wasn't very happy, and I kind of let my emotions get the best of me in that one. But yeah, that wasn't very good. Do you wear a neck brace? If not, why not? No, I do not wear a neck brace. Mainly because I can't wear a neck brace and ride like I can. Um, I kind of have bigger shoulders than a lot of people. So when I have, like, I guess you can't really see, but these right here, I think these are your traps. Well, when I lift my elbows up, that would push the neck brace up into my helmet, and then I couldn't move my head around. So to prevent that, I would have to ride with my elbows down, but then I couldn't really use my shoulders and my arms to hold on very good. So that's why I don't wear a chest or I don't wear a neck brace. Um, do you have any other hobbies? Yes, I do. I really like to do anything I can with my hands. I like to do some woodworking. I like to work on my car. I like to play video games. I like to uh, really do anything that I got to think, I guess. Do you wear a chest protector? Yes, I do wear a chest protector because roost hurts really bad. Are you the tallest racer out there? How tall are you? Um, I'm not the tallest racer out there. I'm only 5'10". I know Benny Bloss is like 6'5" or 6'6", so he's got about 8 inches on me, which seems like a whole head. But no, I feel like I'm average size. Looks like your bike was number 12. What's the deal with the number change? Um, so number or the numbers are based off of points. How many points you score the previous year, and if you score enough, then you get to pick a permanent number. And last year, I was able to score enough to where I got to choose a number for the rest of my career, and I chose number 12. What video games? I like to play Battlefield. I like war games a lot. I've played a lot of Call of Duty. I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 5 lately. I do play some Fortnite too. It just kind of depends on what the day is. Um, so I do have one last trivia question. Let me think about which one I want to do because I have a signed number plate to send to somebody. Let me see here. Um, okay, so here's the question. Who won the first person to answer this correctly gets the number plate, and I'll get in touch with you guys and get your address. So, who won the Vegas finale in 2010 in the 450 class? First person to answer correctly in the chat gets it. And um, Alexis is going to get the number plate. Good job. Um, so Alexis, direct message me on Instagram your address, and I'll send you a number plate signed. Let Put a comment in the chat. Let me know that you got that. Sorry, Garrett. Is it okay if I call you Garrett? I'm not sure which one, but I just want to stick to one. Okay, Alexis, I see your chat. Um, thank you guys for coming on and asking some questions. Happy New Year's to you guys. And yeah, this has been cool. Hope to see all you guys at the races soon. Thanks, guys. See ya.